Good morning. We continue with government failure. We said government failure arises when government policy brings about loss of economic welfare rather than gain of economic welfare. We talked about unintended consequences. We talked about excessive administrative costs. These are reasons why government fail. So today we continue with government failure. So we have to talk about information gap. For information, basically we're talking about how governments have access to information. So here I got government, like any economic agent, rarely has to process information on which to base a decision. So the information available might be positively mistaken. Therefore, government making the wrong policy responsible for the problem. So what I'm saying in essence is this: government will take decision, and most of the time, government rely on people to give them information. So if this information that government is relying on are misleading, then it becomes a problem because government will still believe it's okay, especially if they are positively misleading. If they are positively misleading, it means as soon as government have access to this information, government is convinced that this sort of information will solve the problem they want to solve, but it is a misleading information, or misleading information, or misleading positive information. So if government now take decision about that, and as a result of that, they took decision to do whatever it is, then, and the consequences occur, a negative consequence occur, then it is as a result of information gap. So government do not have access to tangible information. They might not have access to tangible information because they rely on people, they rely on different experts to give them information. But these people we're talking about, these experts we're talking about, might have their own interest. So if their interest is above the interest of the society, if their interest is above the interest of the all citizens, then they will be giving government an information that is misleading, that will make government to make mistake. And as soon as government makes mistake, then it's a government fail. So information gap might lead to government failing to take the right policy at the right time. Then the other one is conflicting objectives. For conflicting objectives, here I quote, sometimes government faces conflicts whenever they want to make a policy. They may want to cut taxes at the same time increase spending on defense. Whatever decision it makes, there's always an opportunity cost. So for conflicting objectives, what it means is that government will take decision. So whatever government decision is, there's going to be opportunity cost. So government might decide to spend on healthcare. As a result of spending on healthcare, might not be able to spend on education. So what happens with education? The value of education or the quality of education starts reducing. So if the quality of education starts falling, then government has failed in the aspect of education. So government taking decision about health has bring about government failing in education sector. Another example I make here is about government cutting taxes. Government might choose to cut tax on spending. So it means government wants to encourage aggregate demand to increase in the economy. But in the course of doing this, government might need to spend on defense. Spending on defense will increase government expenditure. So government is reducing taxes at the same time wanting to spend on defense. Government has to spend so much there. So government might not be able to give us a good defense that we needed. So government is failing. So whatever decision government takes, we have to put it in our mind that there's going to be an opportunity cost. An opportunity cost as a result of spending on one aspect might not allow government to spend on other aspects. Taking policy, making decision on one aspect might make the other aspects to be loose in terms of policy being made. The third one, politicians maximizing their own welfare. We know who politicians are. Politicians are those that represent us. And when we talk about representing us, they are the ones that are there. They are the ones that will vote in to carry out our interests, to support, to protect our interests. But the public theory choice says that politicians are always there at the end of affairs because of their own special interests. So look at what I wrote here. I wrote, it is a known fact that government will always want to ensure that the welfare of the citizens are maximized. But the public theory choice suggests that politicians act in a way that maximizes their own utility. So I'm going to stop here first. Before I go into what utility is, politics. Politics is a process through which we get what, when, and how. So politics is about allocation of resources. So as soon as we want to allocate these resources, we need politicians to allocate the resources. That is why we vote them in. Or in the course of we voting them in, instead of them to take decisions that will maximize our own welfare, They take decisions that will suit their own utility. And what is utility? Utility is the amount of satisfaction that can be derived from the consumption of any commodity. Utility. The amount of satisfaction that can be derived from the consumption of any commodity. So for politicians, they are not consuming here, but they are taking decisions that will satisfy them. That is the point we're making here. So whatever decision might be, the first thing they think about is them, not we. They are politicians, they are supposed to represent us. But what they do is, they think more about themselves than the society that they claim to represent. And if that happens, there's government failure. Because politicians will be in arms of affair. They will be in government. As soon as they are in government, they start taking decisions that suit them, that satisfy them, instead of satisfying the society, satisfying the citizen. It's a government failure. I think that is clear. Then the next one, market versus government failure. Yesterday I said the market fails. So if the market might fail, then government might also fail. Because whatever happens in the market can also happen to government. And based on the fact, based on economic theory, the market has more information, the market has more experts than what the government can possess. So if with all expertise, with all entrepreneurs, with all economists gathered on the market and they still fail, then talk too much about government that rely on the market forces to give them information. Why can't they fail? So here I was. In economic theory, market failure should be corrected by government intervention. Market failure. Government should correct market failure. That is why there's government intervention. So if the free market fails to provide public goods, the government should make the provision for public goods. If the free market continues to pollute the air, government should make policies like pollution permit to reduce the pollution of air. If the free market fails to give us education, the government should provide education. If the free market fails to give us information, if the free market continues to be in terms of there's always information gap in the free market, government should intervene by financing, by funding advertising campaign to reduce the information gap available. So what I'm saying in essence is that if the free market is failing us, government should intervene by correcting those problems that the free market is bringing. But if government now start taking decisions based on the fact that they want to correct the market failure, we start having economic loss of welfare than economic gain of welfare. Then there's market failure or there's government failure. So what I'm saying in essence is this: as soon as the free market fails us, government should ensure that they are able to correct those failures by intervening with regulations, with laws, with policies. So, which means the social cost of intervention must not exceed the social benefit of intervention. So if by government decision, the social cost of intervention exceeds the social benefit of intervention, then there is government failure. Social cost is the cost to the society. Social benefit is the benefit to the society. So if government is coming in because due to market failure, there's an increase in social cost. So government should come in to reduce social cost and increase social benefit. So if government is unable to reduce social cost and increase social benefit, then there's government failure. So that is all about government failure. Thank you.